Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And you know, we kind of held off on doing this, but we're gonna talk about the Little Mermaid trailer backlash. But really, I want to talk about the bigger conversation that this is getting effing old. This whole thing is getting old. This whole culture war, outrage baiting shit is getting old. And I'm not talking about the people that are downvoting the trailer so much as the preemptive attacks on people who don't like changes to existing franchises. And look, The Little Mermaid does not need to be remade.
Well, most of these don't need a live action remake.
None of them. Like Disney, just stop. Just stop. Pinocchio wasn't bad enough. I mean, seriously, Pinocchio wasn't bad enough. We got to make more. Of course, they're going to go through the entire catalog of all their animated classics, but we're going to talk about the backlash to the trailer. And it's everything that has happened so many times. All the racists are mad. Oh, we're gonna bring out the original to make sure that the racists get put in the place. And here's the thing, you know, people usually don't get that mad until they're poked and prodded by the studios and by the marketing people and by the media to get mad. Because what happens is immediately, even before the trailer dropped, there's gonna be a black Ariel and everybody's gonna be angry.
I'm just like, well, they should have made her hair red. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's not red.
It's red adjacent.
People are like, well, because for ethnic hair, that's more accurate. And I'm like, bullshit. I've seen women walking around with bright red hair. It doesn't have to be accurate. Most redheads don't have hair that red.
It's a mermaid. Okay, it's like they're already not accurate. She's half fish. I want to know why she doesn't have shells on her boobs.
Other people brought that up. But you have a bigger controversy they didn't even mention. How dare those bigots at Disney?
I am going to mention this because Disney, for all their talk of being super progressive and being inclusive and being all about LGBTQ rights current year, seemingly has forgotten that Ursula was based on a very well-known drag queen. And that they actually have some people in their Disney family that could have played Ursula, but instead they picked Melissa McCarthy.
But not just that. They have they're having drag queens that were going to be in like the new Hocus Pocus movie and stuff too. So they had them on set for that. They have people that could have done it that would have been more in line with that.
So we're going to talk about, in addition to the backlash to this trailer, Disney being selectively progressive. And bigots. So here's the thing. Look, I'm going to be upfront. It doesn't matter who the hell you've got playing Ariel at this point. I think the movie's going to be a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you can replicate that again. The Little Mermaid was created in a specific time and place in Disney's history.
Well, now they're saying she's not going to need a man or she's not going to come to the
That's the bigger concern I have. Yeah, they're talking. That's the rumor that the whole plot is going to be changed. That it's basically Ariel doesn't go to the surface because she's chasing a dude. Because that was literally the plot of the entire fairy tale was, oh, she chased a dude. The dude didn't love her, for the right reasons, and she died because of it. Spoiler.
Plot twist. She's after the dog.
Oh, she's after the dog. She's got to go. Yeah, and we saw what happens when you change the ending of Pinocchio. So this movie is going to suck ass. It doesn't matter
what color anybody is.
Right, but let's just talk about the backlash anyway, and we'll talk about this culture war shit that's getting really tiresome. Really is. I mean, there's a reason we didn't do 100 videos on the Black Hobbits because I don't give a shit. The show looks like shit.
Right, and I honestly don't care that the mermaid isn't white because Ginger's kind of different colors. But my problem with it is they didn't keep the red hair. Like, you're like, oh, we're going to race bend characters. And it's okay if you race bend a character, but you keep like the ginger aspect. I'm not so as upset. But then they often just race bend them and then don't. And I'm like, we're not interchangeable.
They said that red hair, what did they say? Like red hair on a brown skinned mermaid is requires too much suspension of disbelief or something.
Don't they said?
Yeah, they basically said it wouldn't look right to put red hair on a black girl when she's playing a cartoon mermaid because it's not realistic.
The suspension of disbelief because the mermaid doesn't have the right color hair.
Whatever. Anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. Guys, over 275, almost 276,000 subs. We talk about the animation industry. We talk about Disney having worked in and around the company in various capacities over last several years. And Little Mermaid is, of course, a perennial favorite. Now, before we get into the the trailer backlash, okay, which is centered, I don't think just solely on the actress being black, but also the lack of anything.
Yeah, you're not seeing much of anything. And it's really, the trailer itself is really dark. No offense. I mean, it is just the colors in general.
It's very muted, a very muted palette.
I will say, from what I could see of it, that the way they have her tail motions going was kind of cool. When they had that. But like, where's the water? Like, you're not seeing like, you know, the water effects or anything like that. Maybe it's pre-effects. Two, I do think that she actually can sing very well.
Oh, she can sing very well.
I do get that. I think that she is a beautiful voice. I think amazing. I get Ariel from her. I get Ariel vibes from her. My only thing was like, I'm like, if you're just going to make her Ariel, can you just give her the bright red hair? People are like, well, Little Mermaid doesn't necessarily have red hair. Right. But Ariel does. And she's Ariel. So I'm like, can't we just give her at least one of her defining features, what she's mostly known for is the bright red hair?
That's racist.
I mean, why? People can have red hair and not be white. I mean, that's not racist at all. And I'm like, so I think it could have done that. I think, and I do get the vibe that I do feel Ariel off of her. I don't think she's terrible Ariel. I do think that the hair color is not cool.
Yeah, so the trailer was revealed as part of D23. We did a whole nother video talking about D23. It features an excerpt of Halle Bailey singing Part of Your World. Not all is well earned. So you got to give a hat tip to Mr. Milo, who put this together. Sir, thank you very much. As of writing this article, the video has a very poor like to dislike ratio. It's actually gotten much higher.
It's much worse.
It's much worse. This was yesterday. It's like over a million, I think.
It's like millions, yeah.
This is why, you want to know why YouTube hid the dislike button, the dislike count. It's because of companies like Disney and Amazon. Yeah, they paid them. They advertised.
They probably paid them.
No, they probably did. No, I'll tell you what they did. They threatened to withhold advertising. Disney is one of the biggest advertisers on YouTube, as is Amazon, as is all these streaming companies. They advertise heavily on YouTube. And they probably said, boy, it'd be a real shame if we cut our ad spend. It'd be a real shame if we cut our ad spend on your platform there, YouTube. You know, you better hide the dislike button. And actually, what seemed to be the tipping point for that was Kathleen Kennedy's spiel last year or whatever. But yeah, it's over 1 million now, I think. But lots of people, you can see what the actual downvote count is with a Chrome extension, which we don't have. I don't care, but it's bad. It's bad. Here's some of the comments.
To be fair, it was a trend that they do this on YouTube videos where they're like they mock it in some way, and that's what they did here. They put different lines in it that didn't happen. It's like a trend.
Yeah. So when Ariel said it's over Ursula, I have the high ground. That made me cry a single tear. Phenomenal writing. I love the part when Ariel looks at Eric and says, "I hope you like sushi," and winks. I love the part where Ursula taught Ariel, "It's not the plane, it's the mermaid." The part where Ariel yells at Ursula to put that cookie down, so inspiring. The part where Ariel grew legs and Jenny yelled, "Run, Forrest, run," made me tear up. Such a masterpiece. The part where Ariel yells, "Now, this is pod racing," had me on the edge of my seat. The explosion looks super realistic, tingles everywhere. The part where Ursula said, "I am inevitable," only for Eric to impale her with a boat by saying, "And I am on a boat," sent chills down my spine. Part where Sebastian says she's starting to believe, and then Ariel stops all the bullets with her mind, sent chills down.
You don't have to read all of them. We get the idea.
I know. Well, this is great. Some of these, though, look like they're copy paste. So who knows? Now the next thing's going to be like, the troll bots are out, guys. And
the troll bots are review bombing it by making up fake lines.
And Universal, which is Disney's nemesis, owns trolls.
They're tinfoil hat,
Russian troll bots from Universal. God. Said the backlash most likely isn't about Ariel's race swap. Halle Berry is black. Oh my God, is she? And not European like the original, but most likely the reason is due to people getting tired of the constant output of poor quality live action remakes.
Poor quality. You haven't seen Flounder? I'm afraid to see Flounder and Sebastian and everybody else. I'm actually genuinely afraid to see what they do.
Oh my God, and live action Flounder is going to look like. You remember that Sega game, Seaman?
No.
Live action Flounder.
It's like if Thomas the Tank Engine and a fish had a kid.
Live action Flounder, guys. There we go. This is your first glimpse at live action Flounder.
He's kidding. You better specify you're kidding. Some idiot will be like, "Oh my God." Misinformation. I'm just afraid to see the rest.
I don't think it's the fact that they're hiding so many of the effects tells me so much, because they hid a lot of Pinocchio too, and we saw how Pinocchio went. Now, Here's the thing. Now, of course, again, this is just par for the course. They set these actors and actresses up, I believe, to be targeted. I really do.
Well, they want to use them as a shield.
Yeah, and it's kind of disgusting because what happens is they always, when they start leading with, look at the diversity and the inclusion, everybody, oh, the racists and the bigots are mad. We've got black women in the show, their Star Wars show, and in their mermaid shows.
Well, then they bring up Jodie Benson. They're like, well, I'm very proud of you. And the thing is, Jodie Benson's a very positive person normally. I mean, she's very sweet. She's very uplifting. I would not expect her to say anything other than this. Plus, I was thinking about this with Ashley Eckstein today too. I know she wanted to play Ahsoka and she didn't get to play Ahsoka and it was crap. But she went with it very positive way because Disney still pays her a whole bunch of money to do all this other stuff for them. And Jodie Benson's always being brought up, for the art show, D23.
You can rent her. You can rent Jodie Benson. I am not kidding. This is true. This is 100% true. This is a former Disney insider, former Disney theme park blogger. We had discussed with our travel partner about having an exclusive event in Epcot. And I swear to God, they gave us a list of pricing and we could rent Jodie Benson for the evening. I am not kidding.
So she's not going to say anything bad.
She's not going to say anything bad.
Plus, Little Mermaid's her legacy. You're not going to want to think bad about it. You know what I mean? And I don't think Halle Bailey is like a bad person or anything. I think she's a sweetie. She seems like a real sweet person.
She can sing.
And she can sing. And I do get Ariel from her. I really do.
She can sing. I
just really wish they had given her the red hair. Whatever that was.
But what happens is they set them up for failure, and then what they do is they always bring out, and again, you don't know what people are being told, whatever. And we saw the same thing with the Hobbit situation, whatever. They always trot out the original actors from the original show to validate the new actors and the new incarnation, whatever.
You want to work for us again?
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah, Jodie Benson's not going to say anything bad.
She's not anyway. That's just not who she is.
The Hobbits aren't going to say anything bad because they're still doing the Hobbit shtick. And
do you just want to go to conventions?
No, that's exactly it. Or do you want to get the James Woods treatment? Mm-hmm. Do you still want to be invited to Disney stuff, or do you want to remember James Woods? You know what happened to him? Yeah, you don't want to go down that road. So you better, So yeah, I mean, and it is sad because again, they always do it. Same with the Reva Moses Ingram. She never had a chance. As soon as they made the narrative about
before it even came out, they made such a big deal about there's a black woman in Star Wars. That's never happened before. Before it even came out. The bigots are going to hate her. And any criticism, and they do this, so any criticism is leveled as ifstophobia. So speaking of that, of bigotry by Disney. Well, yeah. Well, no, we're going to speak about the black ladies being used as shields. When Rosario Dawson got cast as Ahsoka. Oh yeah. A big deal was not made about her being black. No. But people were trying to cancel her because they said she was anti-trans. And Disney didn't do anything about that. They did jack shit for Rosario Dawson. In fact, it turned out she was innocent according to the court. It turned out she was innocent. But I'm like, and again, you can't say, well, that's just because she's an alt-right Nazi. She was dating Cory Booker, right? So what the hell? Plus, I think she's bi, isn't she? Yeah, I believe so. Yes. So anyway, they did not. So it's very selective. When they know the product is probably going to be met with resistance, that's when they throw their actors. And same with Game of Thrones. There wasn't a big deal made about there being black people on House of the Dragon, but they made a huge deal out of it for Lord of the Rings. And one of these is being reviewed and loved much more than the other. Just saying. It's not about racism. It's about one's a better product than the other and didn't need racism as a shield. But speaking of this. Of Disney's bigotry, there's bigots, istophobes at Disney. I don't think... Most people don't even know this. Most people don't know this. And if you're actually a Disney animation fan, I'm not trying to flaunt whatever. It is common knowledge among people who follow Disney animation and the thought process behind it that Ursula was inspired by Divine. For those of you who don't know who Divine was Hairspray. Pink Flamingos, John Waters. Divine was a drag queen's drag queen. Divine was very, very famous in those circles. And yes, it is canon. It is 100% true that they had based Ursula on Divine, and he died before the movie came out, before there would have been time to record it. But the word on the street was he would have been asked. And you can see that. I mean, come on. The mannerisms, the mole, the eye, it was Divine.
So I'm like, guys, you had a golden opportunity to cast another queer icon in the role of Ursula. And I think it should have been Harvey Fierstein, because he actually plays Divine's role in the Hairspray musical, and has also been a Disney voice actor. He was in Mulan, and has connections to Disney. And you're not hearing about this. You're not hearing anything about the fact that they basically took a role that probably should have gone to an LGBTQ person, and they gave it to Melissa McCarthy. Now,
I can totally see it, though. I mean, I really think he would have done a really good job with.
I think he would have been perfect as Ursula. I think he would have been great as Ursula.
We can only be so progressive.
We can only be so progressive.
I think people would have been accepting of this more than they would have been accepting of McCarthy, McCarthy, but of like the race swapping of the Little Mermaids. I think people were like, oh, they wouldn't have accepted it. I think they would have been more accepting of that.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of discussion. Is Ursula even is Ursula gay? Ursula's
a fucking fish, not fucking fish. But she's
Ursula might fuck fish. We don't know. I don't think anybody's actually.
She's like an octopus thing. She's
she's an octopusy. So what really fries people's circuits, and they can't wrap their head around it, is Pat Carroll, R.I.P., passed away a few weeks ago. Pat Carroll was staunchly Republican, playing a character based on a drag queen, and nobody gave a shit until Twitter.
And she didn't give a shit either. So what?
She was most well known for Ursula, and she embraced the role. She loved the role. And Ursula was based on...
And she did a good job.
She did an amazing job. But I'm saying, if you Disney are really concerned about being progressive, right here is your man. Right here's your man. That should have been Ursula. But yeah, it's Melissa McCarthy, who beat out Lizzo, who auditioned for the role too. So I'm just saying, they're being selectively progressive. If they really were concerned about, especially current year, especially with the Florida bill, they should have given the role of Ursula to Harvey Fierstein, in my opinion.
I agree with you. I think it would have been a smart choice. But that's because they're bigots.
That's because they're bigots. Disney's a bunch of bigots. Disney? Oh my God. Instead, they cast a straight white woman.
But no one's talking about that.
Who can't even say... We haven't even seen McCarthy as Ursula.
No, we haven't seen anybody but Halle Bailey.
Yeah, and so that concerns me.
Do you know how hard it is to do this video and say Halle Bailey and not Halle Berry?
Oh, I guess somebody's...
Harvey what's his name? Firestein and not Harvey Weinstein?
Oh my God.
It's really, really hard.
Disney's going to cast Harvey Weinstein.
You know what I'm saying, though? It's really hard
as Ursula.
To say these names, because you just want to say something else.
But this is Flounder, everybody. There you go. Exclusive reveal. They forgot to show you Flounder.
He looks how most of us feel.
This is how most people felt watching the non-trailer, watching the non-exciting Disney 23. So I don't know, guys. Oh yeah, it's funny. Speaking of which, I actually pulled that up. A lot of people keep mistaking Halle Berry for Halle Bailey, But anyway, yeah, she actually responded to it. Some people around the internet are very upset because they think that 56-year-old Halle Berry is playing Ariel. A deleted tweet caught the attention of her. Halle Bailey is nearly 60 playing a 16-year-old. This is what happens when you upset the fandom. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.